There's a lot of people that I meet that are great people, like them a lot, but I would never recommend that they start their own business.
The information they're putting out is not wrong. It is so generic and plain and done for you. Like, go read a book, man.
I feel like we decided we're not naming it until episode 20.
That's right.
So, but if you want to comment some name ideas down below, we'll take them because we're a little bit ahead of you guys. So when we actually record episode 20, you'll have watched like 18. And so, yeah, go ahead and start throwing in some names because this is episode 13.
That's right.
We're coming up on 20.
13.
Coming up on 20.
I got my lumberjack outfit on today.
I know. It's a really good outfit. I told you that already,
Thank
but
you.
people should recognize that it's a good outfit.
Appreciate that, dog.
But so a lot of fun stuff is going on for us over the next week. I leave tomorrow to go down to Disney with Aubrey and Letty, obviously, and then Aubrey's oldest sister, Anna, who has two kids that are 13 and 16, and then husband, Ryan, are all flying in.
And they never been before.
Never been to Disney. And honestly, we're spoiled living in Florida.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Most people only go to Disney like once in their life.
Yep.
Or maybe twice. I guess some people never go at all. So probably, I guess you say on average, like once in their life. It's a long trip for them. I mean, it is like,
oh yeah, they're traveling across the United States.
Yeah, it's like
way easier to go to.
It's probably like
Disneyland.
9 hour of flying time, like combined between like stops and everything. So they get into Orlando.
It's worth it.
Yeah, they get into Orlando at like 10 p.m. on Wednesday night, and we're literally like, first thing Thursday morning, we're going to the park. So they got to be in it.
Yeah.
So I think Aubrey and I, we're driving down. We're leaving tomorrow, and we're going to stop at a grocery store and get like breakfast and stuff for everyone. So on Thursday, we can like whip up a breakfast before you go
get out
spend the day at the parks,
for sure.
I think we're doing Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios tomorrow.
Oh, you're going to double park it?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
We're going to have to report back on how that goes.
We've done it before.
I know, but dang, boy.
I think that Aubrey.
Well, truthfully, I don't want to stay at Magic Kingdom very long anyway, so that
It's
actually
so
doesn't
hot.
sound that bad.
There's like
it's
none.
hot. There's nowhere to there's no shade. It's cramped, and yeah. And they don't serve alcohol, so you can't even like just have a beer in the heat.
Yeah,
You just have
and
to
then
fry and drink.
well, and
soda.
the thing is, we figured that we'll stay a while at Magic Kingdom, but they close early for Disney's not so scary Halloween thing or whatever.
Right.
And so because of that, we're just going to bounce out and head to Hollywood Studios for like the last little bit of the day. Because truthfully, Hollywood Studios doesn't have that much. I mean, it has the Star Wars stuff now, but we've done it.
Yeah, the Star Wars, that's pretty cool. And then Toy Story.
Yeah, the Toy Story Land.
Toy Story?
Yeah, I think she's tall enough to ride the Slinky Dog roller coaster.
Yeah,
so,
Lila was.
Yeah,
So,
Letty wasn't the first time.
Oh, so I bet she is.
Letty was only 36 inches the first time we went, but now she's like close to 40 inches.
And it's 40, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of them are. I mean,
Look
Letty,
how tall she is,
she's literally grown 4 inches in like the last 6
Have
months.
Aubrey put a little top knot or whatever you call it? I've seen her wear them little haircut. Anyways, yeah, it's a ton of fun. What we would do, man, I would just rock headphones and go like stand in a line and then just be like, sorry, whole squad's coming with me last minute. But
Yeah.
really, I mean, you didn't want my kids in the line with you.
Yeah.
My daughter would be chewing your leg.
Emerson.
My son would be crying. Yeah, he's very sensitive, so I'd yell at him for something. He'd be crying. My middle daughter would be, pestering someone next to us.
Yeah.
And
She's the one.
Isla'd be sitting there probably being perfect angel.
I mean,
or
I could see
picking on Emerson.
Emerson is the one that would be the one that like they're like get down off the railing. The child's like WWE.
No,
on the
it'd be
rails,
like, sir, is this yours? is this your child? Yeah, for sure.
But so we're doing that, and then Friday we have Animal Kingdom in the morning and
Love Animal
Epcot in the evening, and then and then Saturday I think they've even because they have a 3-day park hopper. So I think that Saturday is just gonna be a chill day.
Yeah.
And then Sunday they're gonna go back to the park they like the most, so they can go spend more time there.
Yeah, cool, sure. I bet it's Animal Kingdom.
So, yeah, I know. I'm really excited about Animal Kingdom. So.
Dude, I go full on dad mode, and like if the family's whatever they want to do, I'll go just ride the little whatever they call safari ride. Yeah, I'll go ride that on repeat. A lot of times during the day you can get on it. Nope. I mean they hold so many people. If they're running all the cars, you can get on it pretty quick.
Yeah. So then Friday afternoon, my sister's gonna drive down from Gainesville from her cancer treatments with their family, and the Airbnb we got 2 extra bedrooms.
Sweet.
So they're going to come stay with us.
Family.
I think Nick from Riser is going to come on Friday and just
nice.
like meet us for the afternoon in Epcot with his family.
Very cool.
So, and then
you're going to see a lot of Nick then.
I know. And then Sunday, Aubrey has to take me to the airport around like noon because I'm meeting you in Chicago.
In Chi-Town, baby.
Sunday afternoon.
That's right.
And then we have dinner plans with Nick from Riser is taking us out to dinner. And then Monday.
Well, we're going to Process Expo.
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is Process Expo in Chicago, which is really cool. I've never been, but I've been to Pack Expo, but I heard Process is even cooler. So I'm really excited about that.
We're going to get to nerd out on stuff for a couple of days, so that'll be great.
You don't even realize like how many expos exist for the industry that you're probably in right now. I mean, everyone's heard of fitness expos. I mean, we've all been to fitness expos probably, but like there's baking expos, process expos, packaging expos. There's
fast food, all the different fast food.
Oh, there's fast food expos, huh?
Oh, absolutely.
See, that's what I'm telling you. There's expos for everything.
Franchise expos. So for multi-unit franchise operators. So I was a multi-unit franchise operator. So there's, hey, we're a franchise. Hey, you operate Sonics. We're like a Sonic, or we complement that well, or we have similar we set up well near one or whatever.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. And then of course all the equipment and all the everything. And then a lot of even like, hey, you've ran a bunch of restaurants. Do you have an idea for a concept? We'll spin you up into, I know you've been approached.
Oh, yeah. People approached us for Fat Weird.
A lot of those people are sharks, so you got to be careful. They're so litigious and at a like business or legal step that normally the entity they're approaching is not at. I feel like they're going to tie you up in ways that you just don't understand. And watch The Founder. Or something. I don't know.
Is that the McDonald's one?
Yeah. I mean, without him, the company wouldn't be able to do. But just watch The Founder and just remember that when you're approached by business people per se that you can't trust.
Yeah, and a lot of them times it's like these older men that like come in as like this father figure. I mean, it really is true.
It does actually happen in the real world. It's happened to me actually. And
oh my gosh! Wait, we're streaming right now. I didn't even know this.
Oh,
I'm not recording. I'm not recording this. We're actually streaming this on Twitch. Yeah.
All right. Are we recording
I was
anywhere?
not even paying it. No, it's not recording right now. It's streaming. It'll be recorded on Twitch, and I'll be able to pull it off of Twitch.
Right.
But I didn't even realize that we were doing this because people said, welcome back. So, hey, guys. I was like, why is the chat going on?
Well, I accidentally hit YouTube's.
I accidentally hit I accidentally hit start streaming instead of recording. So
it's Kate.
Yeah.
Hello.
So everyone's going to get to see this
I don't know who any of you are
in real time.
But
so
nice to meet you.
Yeah, we've been live for like 8 minutes on there. So, yeah, I think it's funny that I didn't even realize that we were streaming. But whatever. We're streaming right now, and we're on Twitch. So,
what are y'all doing?
Yeah. Someone said I had a feeling it was a mistake. So, well, this is a surprise. If you enjoy this content, this is what our podcast is all the time.
Yeah.
So you can head over to our YouTube channel. Maybe, I mean, truthfully, I probably should stream these at the same time anyways and then let them replay on YouTube.
Why not?
Because it is fun to have like interaction. If someone asks a question, like we'll be able to see it and things like that. But
very cool.
Either way, that's pretty funny. Yeah, the streaming and recording are literally right on top of each other right here. So you stop streaming, start recording. So, anyways, I'll start recording this now as well. But
now we're recording.
Yeah,
we were also recording, but on a different platform.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we have the expo Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Wednesday, me, you, and Christian will fly from Chicago to Salt Lake to check out a co-packer's facility that is potentially going to be the co-packer that's helping us with some of these larger orders that are coming in. So
that's right. A lot of moving parts, a lot of hope. I hate having hope. I hate it.
Yeah.
But a lot of hope for this co-packer. They've done a lot of great things with a lot of great other brands. Not going to tell you who those are. We had to do our homework. Y'all figure it out yourselves. Yeah. But no, a lot of hope that they can help us scale. Like we've talked about before, we know we've got a great product. We know what goes into making a great product, but man, there's a lot of moving parts at millions of units per month in throughput.
Right.
And so having a co-packer that's used to making millions of things to a standard, per month, I really like the idea of that.
Yeah, I think the thing that I always wanted to do is everything in-house, but I realized with the growth that we're trying to do, like I won't say it's impossible, but the trajectory on it really is impossible if we hit these milestones to even do it in our expansion facility. Yeah. I think that, one of our co-packers we're talking to has a 350,000 square foot facility.
Right.
Our building is 10,000 square feet.
Right.
They have 350,000 square feet.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
So like they have 35 of my facilities.
Right. So the ability to do that and compete in that world in what they do, but they're able to produce things cheaply because I'm stuttering over here, because they're not worried about brand presence. They're not worried about their website. They're not worried about social media. They're not paying all this money for marketing and They're really just making a product. And coming from the, franchisee world, fast food, stuff like that, a lot of, it's cheap food, cheap in price, cheap in, everything about it really. But it's got a standard, meeting that standard. Well, I like being on the other side of it, working with a co-packer who can help us drive costs down on their end, while on our end, we can hold the brand standard and be like, no, this is not our cookie.
Right.
No. Because I feel like at scale, you have to, I know you have to accept there has to be some tolerable, whatever.
Yeah, just tolerances.
Yeah, some tolerances from where you once were, but we get to focus on what those are and where they come in.
Right.
And not having to do something so fast because we're not used to it. It's and then the customer go, this isn't what we expect from Fat and Weird. We get to talk to our co-packer and go, hell no, this isn't our cookie. Make it again.
Yeah. And
we pay for that, but
and the exciting part is like a lot of these companies, like even though I'm buying in bulk compared to like, some mom and pop shop, they're buying in bulk. Like the same comparison, like where I'm buying pallets of flour and this person's buying bags, they're buying semis of flour and I'm buying bags. So it is interesting to see like the difference in that as well. And I think there's, obviously it's marginal price differences between what they're buying and what I'm buying. But that same marginal difference, trickles down and makes such a big impact on the bottom line.
Well, like I remember that first co-packer we talked to, they were like, how do you store your flour? We're like, what do you mean? They're like, how does your flour come in? And we're like, on a truck? And they're like, yeah, oh, okay, how do you store it? And I was like, on a pallet? And he's like, oh, so you don't silo your flour?
Yeah.
Like, holy moly.
Yeah.
This company's just straight up like, I need 10,000 pounds more flour, and it pumps it in from the outside, blows it in with air. It's actually really cool videos if you guys want to look that up. But yeah, it's just like a big air pipe. Blowing air into a hopper.
And they load them with these super sacks, right?
Yeah, they're loading it. Well, I'm guessing at some point they come in by rail, right? They got to, but maybe the final miles or whatever they're trucked in. I don't know. I didn't see that part, but it just these. They look like grain silos. I've not noticed like finished flour silos. I've growing up in farmlandy areas or whatever, So.
But yeah, so that is our next. Well, I guess like me for the next like week and a half is that situation. All the while, we're also starting on Meyer's order next week.
Yep.
So we have it planned. Just transparency. It's 100,000 cookies. We're going for 25,000 cookies per week, essentially, plus or minus. We're it's a little bit over 25,000 per week. And the goal is to produce Monday through Thursday, and then to bag them up on Friday. And that's a tentative schedule. I think everyone that's followed me or has run their own business knows that tentative schedules are great, but rarely.
Hey, well, you can't. We gotta pick a finish date. I don't want to even then say if we don't make it, but it's like if you just say it'll get done whenever, it won't ever get done.
Yeah.
So we're gonna say that's the plan. We're gonna roll. We're gonna go Monday through Thursday and Friday. And you both of our smart dudes. I can see all the things that could, but it's not really worth thinking about until we get to it.
Yeah,
so we're gonna fucking run it.
We're aiming to finish by November 17th. Mm-hmm. We have all the way until like December 4th. So this is, over 2 weeks earlier than the deadline to get it done. But that gives us like a whole week to kind of like get it done if things go awry.
Hey.
Look,
things are going to go awry, but we'll put them out I build things up, and I know you do too. I build things up because I'm thinking of the 50 things that could go wrong.
Yeah.
The likelihood of 50 things going wrong at the same time with this brand new piece of equipment, dude, I will be so far up Ally Flex ass if 50 things go wrong. So it's like, no. But yeah, one thing, something, probably, it's going to happen, right? Something happens every day. Then you just go, oh, okay, not a big deal. And then you keep going.
I know this is maybe a wild thing to think about, but I'm like, okay, it's like 26,000 bags.
Yeah.
And we know that we have, by November 1st, we have, we can
hand do it if we have to.
What I'm saying is we have to do 1,000 bags per day. But
Cassie's already said it. She's like just because I think the bagging machine is like intimidates her.
Yeah.
She's like, if this thing goes down, we'll just do it by hand. We'll do it by hand.
Yeah.
We'll get it done. And I'm like, I know you're on it.
Well, I look at 1,000 bags per day. We easily seal by hand, we've sealed over 1,000 cookies in a day. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, it would literally be like a couple people rotating through who's going to stand there and do that. We have 2 machines and you would just sit there and seal it. So it's like, it would be not the greatest situation in the world. I think your profit margins would be dropping drastically.
Yeah,
but
it wouldn't be the best way to do it. It wouldn't be why we spend all that money on the machine, right? All kinds of this, that, and the others. But that's not even going to happen then. I mean, that's so far down because that's what I mean. You get all the way down to the damn thing breaks and we can handbag. So it's not that intimidating of a task. I just want, I've talked with the team. I know you have too. We're going to get together, get a very clear plan and then go look, plans do change, audibles occur mid-play, right. But this is the plan. Feel good about it. Know that Fridays are going to be long. So we're going to stagger y'all coming in.
Right.
Is it going to be, or, with this, that, and whatever it is, right? And so that way, you got to talk to your people, motivate your people, y'all out there just, we're about to do a lot of work and a lot of volume, but it's not really going to be a lot of it's not really going to be more work for anyone.
Right. Yeah. So that's what, I know this is going to sound weird to people, but the machine that I built at Fat and Weird would be like you're on your riding lawnmower and your yard was so small that you could only run your riding lawnmower at the slowest speed. And it took you an hour to mow your yard. Because if you try to go at the faster speed, it would just be out of control. You would run through the fence. And then all of a sudden, you're able to buy the lot next door. And your wife's like, well, it's going to take you 2 hours to mow your grass now. And you're like, no. I can just go faster on my riding lawnmower. And so now you're able to run your riding lawnmower at this medium speed, and it still only takes you an hour, even though you're covering just as much ground. Fat and Weird is that way. We have our production speed is on slow because we can't produce more than we're producing right now just because we don't have the space for it. And these bigger orders haven't started coming in yet. But I built a machine that's been operating at 20% speed, and we haven't even kicked it up. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when we do take it to 50%, in my opinion, because I don't even feel like we're even pushing it to the limit,
Well, no, man, and that's all part of what you do while building a business, the wild success and popularity and everything had this massive limelight on this business, and now systems have been being put into place so that you can do what you're saying. That takes time. It takes time. Yeah. It takes people. It takes working with people. It takes putting bumpers in place. But you are exactly right. We are now at a place where we have the players, we have the team that can really help us, grow to the next level. I mean,
I think a lot of things that separate, just because we have people watching right now and they're really enjoying this tidbit, I think a lot of things, and maybe you can talk a little bit about this, but a lot of things that separate people's businesses where it's them and maybe even just 1 or 2 employees versus businesses that can truly scale.
Oh, sure.
Is one, creating a foundation that you can build off of. So for example, if we were still in our little kitchen with, and I had taken all that money and bought a Lamborghini and a nice house, you wouldn't be able to scale because you don't have the space, you don't have the people, you don't have the resources available. So you have to build out an infrastructure that can support what you're trying to grow into. And then where you've come in is the processes. And so something that I wasn't the best at, because I would just like teach someone how to do something and I would walk away, would be like actually like lining out the procedures and processes.
You would tell someone something.
I would, yeah.
You got to teach them.
I know.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean,
yeah,
whatever, to turn it back on myself. Like, yes, man, we had multiple stores. I had US Lawns going. We had Tier 1 going at that time. And then we bought 4 Sonics in Louisiana, and I'm in Panama City, Florida. Like, when I went to Slidell, Louisiana, I had to make it very impactful because I could not be driving over there for 6 hours.
Yeah.
It's the benefit of a curse of living here. You can just shoot down and fix people's problems.
Yeah.
So they can be like, Daddy, help. Okay, well, what's your problem? No, fix it. I'm not driving 6 hours to you.
Right.
Okay. Whatever. Talk. Then, okay, yes, most of the time I still did start heading that way at least, or whatever, start clearing my calendar. But then we started building some chickens here and then all across the Gulf Coast, and each one of those had 60 to 75 employees. So we had to put management in place, and then management above them that understood their job, understood the consequences, and understood what everything was riding on. Because, you're right.
Yeah.
But it takes a huge, both processes, but then also like the team. You have great people here. We have great people here. You've acquired great talent. I guess I should say it that way. But now keeping them all as a team or whatever. Analogy of like more like, the team owner puts the people in place and then kind of has everybody doing their job. And the coach, if you will, is kind of running around making sure everybody can play together on top of executing.
So are you the coach now?
I guess sort of. Well, if you're the team owner or like a manager or whatever, I don't know sports hierarchies.
No, I see that. I think that
somebody has to have their eye on the brand, and then somebody like.
But I'm probably a little bit like Jerry Jones, where I'm too involved with the team sometimes.
I mean, I want you or whatever. Everybody, we need you involved, obviously. But I don't know, whatever. We both like analogies. It's just that somebody really has to pay attention to what the Dallas Cowboys represent, the image, the da-da-da-da-da, and then they ain't changing sports. They ain't doing anything. We ain't making anything new yet, you know? So it's like, all right, go execute, da-da-da-da-da, whatever, that type of shit. So,
yeah.
Anyways, huge potential. Y'all are going to be excited. Whoever's on here, I can't see that far away, but
Kate
if anybody,
and
what up again, y'all? This is cool. I like this.
Yeah.
But, big things coming. Very exciting.
Yeah. I think, I don't think I fully have my mind wrapped around everything that we're doing. Papa Murphy's was here on Friday. Really great meeting. A lot of potential. Nothing's like set in stone yet, but there's just a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah, a lot of locations. They figure out what they want. We figure out if we can work with them, and we like it, and it's good for the brand. I think we did a good job at stressing that we've done a really good job at
building the
being
brand,
a brand that people understand and know and like and trust and yada yada. And not that they're not, but just like, what do y'all want to do with our brand?
Right.
Don't make it lame.
Yeah, and then we have, we have the potential now. We got reached out to by GoPuff recently, which GoPuff is a really interesting thing for us because it's kind of similar to like Dash Mart's doing, but more like the convenience store era, So it's not quite like grocery. It's more like
kill it.
I know, yeah.
Dang.
And then, that's another thing. You can remind me to circle back with Christian. We needed to circle back with the 2 other co-packers and see where they're at with everything too.
We do once we get through there, and then kind of that unique, keep that card in our pocket, but a unique way to kind of maybe try to fund some of getting all that spun up. That'd be a neat story to tell.
Right. Yeah.
If we can make that happen. But anyways,
yeah. So
exciting stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's all just to say that there's a lot of really fun and awesome things on the horizon for Fat and Weird, and we're going to be going through a lot of it this week, and then potentially Publix.
We're also going to go see Hydro Jug while we're up there, right?
Yep. Yeah, we are.
Jug.
We're going to go see Hydro Jug. So I talked to...
I'll go order a cup. These might be out by the time
Aubrey just posted a link on her story, which now when I talk about it, it'll be so late. But there are some that she's found. It's a lot of the essentially the wholesale people that they promised stuff to. So they're sold out on their own website, but they have had to like give it to wholesale, which I told him, I was like, does that hurt a little bit? He's like, yeah, it hurts a lot because it's like eating in his margins on a new product. But at the same time, to keep those relationships with wholesale people happy,
you winked it. That's a you oopsed it. You got to eat it. But you still making money.
Yeah. I mean, he's still making money.
He's still making money, so you're right. But I know you take on those wholesale contracts knowing that you still got your honeypot on the side where you make a lot more margins. But, hey, man, that's cost of doing business for y'all.
Yeah.
And they're doing fine.
Yeah. So. Well, I told him, I was like, next time you should have ordered way
y'all
more.
Y'all go order it from wherever because they're still doing good. Great.
Yeah.
Hydro Drug. Y'all go check
But I said that, you learned a lesson. You should have never doubted yourself and just ordered a lot up front, you know? It's hard, though.
It is.
You know?
It is.
It's hard because you go, well, what's the demand really going to be, you know?
And it's like, yeah, if they didn't want it, it's big. It takes up a lot of space, you know?
Yeah.
100,000 of these, you know, packaged or whatever, man. That's a lot of room.
Yeah, and you know how they come in those little,
in a box, in a whatever thing. It's a lot of room. I mean, Ugh. And then, like, I'm glad this didn't happen for him. I'm laughing because it didn't. But, like, gosh, I guess you would never have to destroy them. Somebody'd want them. But it's like, even if, like, the hauling off of them would be like,
oh, yeah.
We could always be like, you want a free cookie? No one's going to say no. I guess that's what I'm saying. Anybody'd want a free. But if you had to mass clear a warehouse of them.
So I do have a story. They had a sleeve that was just not moving. Like the sleeves, that just wasn't moving, was not moving. I think they hit up Kohl's and was literally like, we'll give you this sleeve at like just dirt cheap. You can sell it for whatever you want to sell it for, but just like dirt cheap. And Kohl's like, sure. And they literally sent like 5,000 of these sleeves to like Kohl's to move them, you know? And I mean, I don't know if it was like a complete L. I don't know if it was a break even or.
I bet Kohl's sold them and made money. I mean, people in Kohl's are probably like, oh, hey, cool.
Yeah. But
was it just the sleeve, though?
Yeah, it was just the sleeve.
So you'd have to have a Hydro Jugs?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I know it's very popular, but like that.
Yeah, it is. It's so crazy
to be walking around Kohl's and have a Hydro Jug.
I want the Fat and Weird to get to the point that like Hydro Jug's at, and the fact of like I go to random gyms and someone has an Hydro Jug, and I'm like, that's cool, you know. So I can't wait until like someone is like
I notice them now.
Someone is like eating a cookie, and I'm like, oh, that's a Fat and Weird cookie, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. You see it in somebody's random like. Yeah.
I will tell you, Hayden, the owner of Hydro Jug, he told me, he's like, you're so lucky that yours is a consumable. Meaning, like, when someone eats it, they're going to come back and get more. He's like, when someone buys my Hydro Jug, sometimes they buy one jug. And that's it, forever. For the rest of their life, that's their one jug, you know?
Purpose-driven.
Yeah. So, it is fun in that aspect of that. We are a consumable.
Learn that in fast food. Hey, yeah, I slap a fried chicken joint on the busiest road in a given town. A lot of cars. Oh,
speaking of fast food joints and busy roads, when we were driving up to Appleton Farms for the pumpkin patch, by the way, we went to a pumpkin patch, first one. It was a lot of fun. Adam didn't want to join us. So anyways, we passed through some like these tiny, tiny towns. Okay. Mm-hmm. And one of them had a fast food joint like in it. And I think it was the only one. Okay. That sucker had a line.
Oh, absolutely.
Down the road.
Oh boy. In the small towns, where else you can
go? I feel like my business model, if I was a fast food place, would be find small towns with like 5,000 to 10,000 people in them.
Sonic drive-ins do better than even smaller, man. They'll do in smaller towns.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. That's why, I mean, like, you want to, like, flex. Like, so actually being a Sonic drive-in franchisee is actually really hard to become because you have to be able to operate them in places. They're everywhere. Who needs a Sonic drive-in? Where are you going to go?
I've seen them in Montana.
They're everywhere, man. I don't even know what the number count is, but it's like 6,000 or something like that.
Really?
I don't know. It's everywhere.
Yeah,
they're everywhere.
I know we got like 4 in town.
Yeah, you go to the smallest towns. They kill it. And the AUV for those is not all that high, but you can get them operated tight, man. They run a tight ship. It's well-oiled machine.
But no, I mean, I think that would be my play if I was like going to franchise things. I would figure out how to get the lowest overhead possible, so you could open up in like the smallest towns because people love it in that small town.
Dude, some friends
got a Sonic.
Some friends of mine opened a Mexican restaurant in Freeport. is the only, it's got a liquor license, only sit-down liquor license within like 10 minutes or whatever of the entirety of Freeport. They kill it. They kill it. Yeah. The people don't, like, they go have a drink and some Mexican food right there, you know, Tex-Mex style food, whatever.
Yeah.
10 minutes, you know. Otherwise, you got to drive 10 minutes. I know that seems like, but it's a lot.
Yeah, so when we're talking 10 minutes in a place like Houston, most people scoff, but you got to realize that, like, even in a town like Panama City, I can get all the way to the west end of the beach, which is like long freaking ways, in like 25 minutes, 20 minutes.
Right. Well, what
so
we
like
do,
10 minutes is a long drive.
Well, what we instinctively want to like argue with it, because normally what our brains go to is, I'm saying you'll go to this place you don't want to go to instead of this place you do want to go to that's 10 minutes away. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying it adds a variable to like the metric that changes heavily. I don't create these calculations or whatever, but you can go on the DOT website, you can see what the traffic count is, you can measure the distance, and then basically they're guesstimators. I won't say that, but like they'll help tell you like what your average traffic should be based on anything that most franchises, there's like a network you can plug into so they can take that data. Anyways, you can literally input it, and it should be like, this is about what your sales should be at this location. You can drag that all over town, and check it out. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
But then that's why we settled on,
23rd Street.
Right over there, right in the middle.
You have a really great location.
Really expensive,
But those kind of things pay for themselves, right? Because if you skimp on the dirt, then you're every day you're losing money.
Yeah, your physical location sales, they don't have the benefit like we do. We sell online. If we move to Montana, no one necessarily has to even know, but like you can't like nudge your building a block over.
Yeah.
Oops. And you can't unbuild it, and you can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
You better be paying attention to 10-year plans. You better be paying attention to DOD expansions. I mean, y'all don't get in over your head. I mean, not that you're going to just be able to just.
Yeah, I think the most important thing you can do when you're picking a franchise is probably where you actually build it, because accessibility to your facility is
if you
going to
pick a good franchise, they won't let you put it in a bad location.
Yeah.
If they don't seem like they're pressing you, if they don't have a real estate team, if they don't have a whatever. And the only reason I say that is if you get involved with any of the national brands, any of the big boy brands, but I don't really think y'all are seeking out my advice. But if you were able to get involved with any of those, they'll do it. They've been around the block. If they've been around 10, 20 years, they've got teams. They've been through market cycles. They understand what they're doing. If it's one of those like cheap, because I also see we touched on it a minute ago, those like cheap little anybody can be a franchise.
Oh, yeah.
And like your industry may not need a franchise. You may not be franchisable. You may not, I don't know. I've just seen a bunch. So it's like I was in a commercial landscaping franchise. I got into that franchise because it made me seem like I was everywhere, like I was bigger than I was. So even my cards initially, I just acted like I was a representative. So I was like, oh, yeah, we can have properties like this, man. Yeah, easy. They didn't know. So,
Right, because when they Google U.S. Lawns, they see a massive company.
Everywhere, boy. So then I'd get a big, $20,000 a month contract and go, like, oh, how do I service this?
Yeah.
They figure it out. Do it again.
Speaking of what you just said, I feel like that is a lot of true entrepreneurship is you're like, I'll handle the problem when it becomes the problem, because just like you were talking about with the bagging of the cookies, is there's so many things that could go wrong. There's so many problems. I can't even list everything that could possibly go wrong. There's just so many different things. But we could spend all day, and then we could do it, night. And none of them could go wrong.
None of them could happen, yeah.
So you almost have to be like, hey, here's the major things I'm looking out for. Here's kind of what I'm going to do on the broad swaths, right? Like the machine stops working, we're going to do this. This happens, we're going to do this. We're not going to get every problem, but we've kind of categorized them into like bigger buckets. And then the bigger buckets, we have a general idea of how we'd handle that big bucket.
Hey, I got a fire extinguisher. Hey,
yeah.
Oh, I got an electrical fire extinguisher now.
Yeah.
You just kind of like, we're still doing it.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
Yeah, so I think truly something to take away from this video is,
don't be scared. Don't be scared.
If you're an entrepreneur, is you're never going to be able to solve every problem before you get to them. If you can at least bucket the general issues with your problem. So like anything that happens with the Z conveyor, the scale, the bagging machine, it puts that out of commission. This is what we're doing and stuff like that. And then you just move on.
Yeah. I mean, U.S. Lawns, we had the misfortune, of losing all of our stuff with Michael, but the fortune of getting all the rebuilds. So landscaping. Difference between like cutting the grass and then installing a bunch of plants. I think we can all appreciate there are differences. We had to learn all that stuff, and we had learned the other stuff.
Yeah, you had to do irrigation systems.
Probably. Oh yeah, now we're installing. Panama City was pretty built before. I mean, newish. A lot of our stuff was on the beach, but anyways, getting to the rebuild side. I mean, we got contracts for miles of sidewalk. I mean, they needed it done. We almost had to take it because we couldn't find anybody to sub it. So I bought a concrete pump, and my brother-in-law came and started helping me pump concrete. We're pumping miles of concrete. And me and him just figured it out. Concrete pump broke. It about exploded one time. The lines didn't know this, didn't read enough. Think about it. It's a pump pumping concrete. So if it gets clogged,
oh man,
the pressure
is astronomical.
Yeah, and we didn't know how to release it. And we couldn't figure it out. And one of my guys is straight standing over the top of where it's clipped, like beating it with a hammer. I didn't know how good it was that I basically like ran over there and was like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? We wound up tying it down and like from way far away, like yanking it with a chain. And I mean, it wasn't like crazy. I imagine if you were on top of it and it's concrete, it wound up just kind of being like,
right.
But it was like really loud and like, I don't know, small pieces. Anyways, long story short, figured it out, wasted a whole mess of concrete, had to clean all that up, yada, yada. Day moved on. Didn't make as much money as we should have that day, but end of the project, we killed it, boy.
Well, it just goes back to what you said, like entrepreneurs, like the true entrepreneur, someone that's going to be successful, knows how to take a hit and like keep moving. And I think the fact is, you can probably attest to this. When you were younger, you looked at older people and you're like, man, they got it figured out. When I get to that age, I'm going to have it figured out. And then you realize no one has it figured out. Like no one.
Stoicism.
No one. Like you can pick the most successful person ever. Elon Musk. He doesn't have it all figured out. He doesn't. There are things that catch him off guard. There are things that he doesn't know the answer to. And I think that once you quit idealizing this, like, oh, they're further along than I am, or the only reason they're there is because they have it figured out. It's no. It's just like,
well, it starts with your parents, and like, truthfully, one of the best things I think you could probably ever do for your kid is, I don't know if you want to call it stoic or whatever, but make them to some degree believe like you have it all figured out. My mom did that for me, and I'm not saying that she. Right. Well, nobody has it all figured out, but like I did. I just was like, Mom, what is this? And she would tell me.
Right.
Well, now it's like, man, I'm sure a handful of times, but I do the same thing. My kids, you'll just like tell them an answer that you think it is, and the way you just think it's the answer. Yeah. You're not lying or whatever. I'm not even saying so. Whatever. But then we start with our parents, and then we kind of like, we move on to other folks. I don't know.
Well, I think confidence. Like anyone that exudes confidence, it's easier to follow them as a leader. Like when someone's just like, I have no clue. Like, I don't know. And they don't say, it's like, I'm not sure about that. Let me like go find, like, let me go, like look it up or whatever. Cause I mean, that's fine. Right.
You don't need to know everything. You just need to like, I mean, truthfully, most of us follow the person that's the least panicked or whatever in any situation. So like, we in movies, people are like yelling or whatever, but I've been in some kind of real events and like, that's how it kind of goes. Everybody knows it's been kind of conditioned, whoever that is in the circle. And then, the stoicism, man, it goes a long way. We talked about it, there's a lot of stressors that we're going to have, and everybody feels stressed. So I'm not saying like you just have to be tough. I'm just saying, don't be running around with your hair on fire in front of your employees. They need to know they're getting paid on Friday and like that everything is normal and they keep making cookies or whatever business you're in, right? Cutting grass, everything else I was in, where I'm going like, shit, we just broke this thing. Like, I don't know how I'm paying payroll. But please don't stop. God, if I'm telling them that, then they're going to like be like, F this. I'm like, this dude's about to go under. I'm out of here. And then I'm really going under. Like, I'm a manifest destiny then. So I have to go, like, I have to be me. I'm normal, but then I also have to, wear that face like the show must go on. Kind of, I would call it stoicism. I don't know if it's stoic or not.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, man, get back to work. We got to go.
Right. Yeah.
Not trying to act like I'm David Goggins or anything like that. It's just like you do got to be like, all right, time to go. Like you got to go back to work. You got to do your thing. You got to hang in there, whatever it is.
Yeah, I think that's things that I used to do too much is like I wouldn't say it's like too transparent, but like I get wrapped into the doom and gloom cycle too much, and I probably share that information too much with previous employees. Just like, man, Fat and Weird's not doing as good as it used to do, and then people are like, Fat and Weird's going under. You know, and it was not going under. It's just like, it just wasn't doing as good as it used to.
That's why I told you a long time ago or whatever, when we used to just kind of talk about stuff like that, was like, it starts getting lonely at the top, if you will, because of like, who you can talk to about what. Yeah. So like, when I started out, you know, we had the gym or everything. We didn't make no money. Everybody saw like really I didn't run P&Ls much at all unless my accountant made me until U.S. Lawns and then the business stuff, and then they made me. I learned all about that shit. And I mean, I was very transparent with everybody. And then at US Lawns, you know, it took a while to make some money, so I was very transparent. And then I was still transparent, but what I realized, sorry to get to my point, was you can only be so transparent up until the person's understanding. Right. So when I was sharing my P&L, I mean, we were in a heavy growth mode at US Lawns. So they're, you know, the top line number, 200, 300 grand, whatever it was. I didn't make any money that month. I might have lost money that month. I mean, like we were buying trucks and people and doing stuff and trying to grow. Right. Well, if you share that and they don't understand how to even, you know. So I wasn't doing a P&L review with my people. I just, like, my sales guy at that time had his numbers up, and like my crews, if you will, saw the number and they're like thinking, I will only make this much an hour.
Yeah, and Adam's making $250,000 a month.
And I had a business partner at the time that had other businesses, so he acted a little flashier than I told him. I'm like, don't act like this around the crew. I saw Justin Waller, Jay Waller on YouTube and stuff. I saw a clip where he talked about like dressing down and being kind of like in the moment with his guys. It resonated with me because I used to be like, bro, don't pull up in the AMG with the He didn't mean it. It just in his other business, it was like rear facing. It didn't deal with customers. It was all tech and rear facing and stuff. Right. So, call centers.
Right. No, that definitely is true. A lot of people, which I think, you know, people here at Fat and Weird know, and I think I've talked about before, is like I don't take a salary from Fat and Weird. Well, Ari and I both take a salary, but we literally withhold 100% of it for taxes. So like $5 a month hits our bank account, you know? So I think that, you know, a lot of times, you know, when people see like, oh, wow, you did $250,000 or $300,000 this month. And you're like, yeah, but we actually didn't make any money this month, or we lost $50,000 this month. They're like, wait, how?
Well, because they're not in on all those things. Right. So as to not have to like go into it, there are reasons, you know, so you guys know, there are reasons why you on paper can lose money month over month while working towards a plan or whatever. There are parts and puzzles to plans, too many to list, that include these types of finance strategies. That's what you have starting capital points with and stuff like that. These certain employees, you haven't hired them for any of that knowledge base. Right. Nor do you necessarily have the time, want, or reason to train them in all of that. You're not going to check with them. You're not going to do anything. So it's just like, I started having to kind of tier that down to like who got to come to what review.
It's also why you'd never believe anyone on social media when they're like, I did $10 million in revenue. Two reasons. One, they could just be full of shit and not actually do $10 million in revenue. The second thing is you can do $10 million in revenue and then your operating expenses and everything can be $11 million. So that guy lost $1 million that year. You know,
if you have a high ticket sales item, you are going to pay someone. I know because I've done it 20%. And I didn't pay them. I mean, high ticket closers. If you've got a high ticket item, if you've got a course, if you've got a this or that, something that's going to cost somebody $5,000 on the low end, but anything north of $10,000, VIP tickets to this, whatever. You need somebody that knows how to kind of talk to people with that kind of money, and you're going to pay 20%. So whatever that top line number is of like, hey, here's what I got, boom, that's coming off the top. Then you've got a digital platform fee. You've got, basically I could walk you guys through how you could do 10 million in 1 month and make very little money, depending on what your platform fee was based on what your residuals were. Yeah.
How much advertising you have in there?
But also to kind of flip, advertising, all of that, pay per click, cost per customer. But the flip side of that is I also know a couple of guys in the real estate spaces, one in the business space, that make exponentially more money teaching people how to be expert real estate. Yeah, various things they do. I don't want to put them on too much blast. And then in with it's like, here, buy my course.
Yeah, so that's what something else I was to say. It's like because of the intricacies of me and Fat and Weird, I get a lot of Facebook ads for cookie companies. I also, on my Explore page, see a lot of other cookie companies, right? It's like, oh, this guy interacts a lot with this freaking cookie company, so I'm going to show him every other cookie company out there. Well, I stumbled across this one girl's profile, and I actually left her advice like in the comment section because some of the advice.
Oh, heaven forbid! Did they come in?
No, they didn't. They didn't come in.
Okay.
No. I mean, but like I've had people DM me about the advice that I left her. Like, for example, she was saying she bought her bags that she sells her cookies in on Amazon. I was like, that's way too expensive. I literally was like, I have a website if anyone's interested, and I sent them to it. It's called Clearbags.
Great.
Clearbags.com.
Yep.
They're a wholesaler of bags. People buy bags from them and then put them on Amazon.
It's true.
So like you're paying like 50 cents a bag on Amazon, and like these clear bags, I was buying cases of them for like $10, and they'd have like 1,000 bags in it. But besides the point, I left that advice for her. But I saw another reel, because I then interacted with that reel, where she openly said she makes like 5 times as much money per month selling her courses on how to have a cookie business than her actual cookie business.
Of course.
Which I just don't understand that, because it's like, would your cookie business even be afloat if it weren't for the sales of this course that you are feeding back into the cookie business? You know what I mean? It's almost like you created a business plan that was semi-successful, and then you sell a course, and you have to keep this business running, because if you don't keep this business running, then you can't validate your course.
Man,
and then
I got a good buddy in the real estate space. I'm not going to drop his name. He made almost $6 million in his first month dropping a course. And the course is whack. It's whack, bro. Sorry if you watch this. But you won't. But anyways, it's so generic, man. You can find all of this info online. This person is not very famous. He just has a cult-like following. But if the person you're following is famous, I guarantee you every little nugget that's in that course has been said. You just watch more of the video. They're just going to put it together.
I want to see if I know this person's name. So I'm going to mute the microphones. Ready? I was right. I knew.
All right, yeah. But anyways, but I mean, he's fine of a person. He's a fine person or whatever. I did some projects on his co-letter. Whatever. Right. Anyways, but him and many, many other people, the information they're putting out is not wrong. It's not, I say whack, that's a little harsh. It's only whack because it is so generic and plain and done for you that the only reason y'all are going out there and paying this much money is because of the fame part or go read a book, man. I'm sorry, I know I keep bringing it up, but 4-Hour Work Week, Tim Ferriss, he said, go find the 3 best-selling books on any topic and read them. Congratulations. You now know more than effing everybody.
Right. Yeah, I think that...
on anything.
I think that courses, to me, are a very interesting thing, because I almost feel like they're a self-fulfilling prophecy. I've seen women... predominantly it's women that talk about supplementing their income on social media. Sure. And they'll be like, I made $60,000 this month. Buy my course to tell, so you can see how. Oh. But their course is how they made that money.
Yeah, that's so it's called a Ponzi scheme, literally.
But no, that's literally what a lot of these influencers are doing nowadays. Is they're creating a self-fulfilling system that every time someone buys their course, then they have a better month. They just say, buy my course and you can learn how to do this. And it's literally yeah.
Let me see your tax return.
Yeah.
have your CPA call me before I. Yeah,
that's why I'm investing it.
No,
I want to vet the process out.
Yeah, no. So you're right though, man. That's exactly it. Hey, well, honestly, I don't know who really started pushing that the most, but I know that's part of even what Tim Ferriss said, how you can make money too. This was like a decade plus ago.
Yeah.
Now that you've read those 3 books, no more than anything about it, now you can teach people how to do it, whether it's in person or via course or whatever. Okay, cool, but like, I'm sorry, man. Entrepreneurship, going out into the market, I'm going to go find gold is different than showing up and operating something that exists. It's different than changing the way things are. It's different than all of that.
Like disrupting, right?
Just anything where you're doing new shit and it's stressful. Like that takes a level that like a course can't teach you. So, well, kind of how you said self-fulfilling. I don't know. I think people buy it because it's expensive. Like it's going to do more for them. And I would usually say that a lot of times when it is more expensive, people take it more seriously or whatever, but like they're not. They're like buying it to support this person that they're a fan of and then getting probably salty about it and then like it being a weird ruining. I don't know, man. That's why I've not gone off into the like start your own business. Well, like most people I meet, I'm like, if that stresses you out, you don't need. I was going
to say the truth is like there's a lot of people that I meet that are great people, like them a lot, but I would never recommend that they start their own business. And I think that entrepreneurship has been glorified just because of the money and fame that can come with entrepreneurship. You know, you look at certain people like
own your own business, you'll make more money than the people that don't. Or I think I said that right. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's there's that saying. There's a employee standing there, boss pulls up, brand new Ferrari, and the guy's like, wow, boss, that's such a cool car. And he's like, man, you keep kicking ass and working hard. I'll buy another one for myself next year. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Because effectively, I mean, that's what we're doing. We are making, whatever, you're making money on the up, right? You're breaking something down and selling it. You're making money on a product or service, but you're at the same time managing all of those complicated parts and wheels and systems that are in place that would not otherwise be able to command that price.
Well, yeah, and there's a lot more risk associated with it.
There absolutely is.
Everyone here, if this goes under, they lose their job and have to find another job.
Yes.
I've lost my entire life savings and everything.
Well, not just that, right? Like, not just that. How many times have you had to, like, dip into the hole or, like, not, or, like, put off your own things to, like, keep the company afloat? I had a literal conversation with an irrigation guy that when I had U.S. Lawns one time about, he came at me weird, and I used to talk to the guys like, hey, man, here's how you ask for a raise. Don't ask like this. And he asked it that don't. And I'm like, look, man, let me explain something to you. You already make more than irrigation techs make, but you know your stuff, and you're easy, and I can send you on a job site, and I don't have to deal with you. But customers think you're weird. No one wants to, like, deal with you. Like, you've got a lot of heavy downfalls. You wore a trench coat, and just really needed to wear it. Yeah. Anyways, I mean, in the cold, when it was cold, not like school, whatever, shooter guy. Anyways, long story short, he kept talking, and I said, look, buddy, the fact of the matter is this. You make $30 an hour. You know how to command that in the open market because you came to me and asked me when I hired you for like $7 or $8 more than where you were working. But all the referrals, people knew you, yada, yada. Easy. I said, and it came up because he saw a bill, right? So this is where you sharing with your people. I turned to him and I said, I know how to get $140 an hour for your service. I said, that's it. That's the truth of the matter. I'm going to go do my thing and get somebody to agree to 140. And you're going to go do your thing. Difference is, I've got the money to put up to service the contract. I've got the truck. I've got the tools. I've got the equipment. I've got the insurance. I've got the customer. I found the You need a paycheck Friday. Like, I had to be very blunt with him. And then I also was like, dude, if you can go take this. And so then I gave him a path. If you can be the one to take this bill to the customer and get them to sign it, I'm not asking you to pick up checks. We do that all electronically now. Anyways, if you can be the one to talk to them, he was a real standoffish, weird guy, wanted to work by himself. Right. So it was like I had to run around, or one of my I had to send somebody around to do
right.
Just
well, there's a lot of times that I think I saw a breakdown the other day online where someone was like, they went to hire someone to build a deck. Yeah. And the guy was like, well, it's going to be this much money. And the guy was like, well, I can buy all the material for this much money. And the guy was like, okay, go do it. And he goes, well, I don't know how to do it. And the guy was like, well, I'll come teach you for this much money. Yep. And he goes, you got all the equipment? And he goes, well, I don't have the equipment. So, well, I'll rent you my equipment for this much money. And it ends up coming out to be the same price as the moral of the story. But I think that a lot of times people do just completely neglect the overhead and all the other.
Well, for that same guy, just so I don't be too greedy like capitalist, I've got I don't know what my truck payment was, $400 or $500 a month truck payment. I got insurance on that. I got workers' comp on him. I got
and workers' comp in your field was cheap. Very expensive.
Yes, everything is cutting stuff and glue and fumes. Yeah, so I mean, insurance, tools, man, all the tools, and these guys don't keep up.
And wear and tear on the tools.
And wear and tear on the tools, just everything, right? And so, if he came to me and was like, "I got my own truck," or not that I'd want him to have it, but you know what I'm saying? He supplies nothing but a body and his brain, which I need very, very much, but
well, so a lot of times people don't realize that, as a business owner, you're maybe making $5.
It's a percentage. You're making percentage.
Say you're making $2 per hour per employee, right? Sure, but you got 100 employees, so you're making $200 per hour, profit. Well, if you give that employee $1 raise, now you're only making $1 on him, or maybe you're losing money on him. So it's a big number.
Yeah, the bigger scale is, and that net profit number, most of the time will not cover next month's operating expenses. So at the highest level, y'all, when you're looking at the thing and you're going if we take a hit here, whatever, that's why you have to build a war chest, stockpile, whatever. It's no big deal, but grow. Cool, yeah, you'll make less money. I agree with you. I'm just extrapolating it to say that you just don't know what could go wrong on top of that. So stuff.
I know that's a hard one. So there's just so much more intricacies than people really think about, and it's not just there are some companies, don't get me wrong, there are some companies you can say, yeah, you're greedy capitalist. I think Big Pharma is probably one of those companies, Sure. But in general, I think that a lot of times,
I don't do it and deal with all this stress and even deal with all of these people's problems, because that's what you are. I'm running around dealing with everybody's problems. I do care about the people that we've talked about this before. You care about what I care about you. Just by de facto.
Right.
So you care about Fat and Weird, I care about Fat and Weird, I care about you. But you do have to run around and care about everybody's problems and solve them and be like, I don't like the way this mouse clicks. Okay.
Oh, man. Yeah,
I feel that one. Man. So it's you either have to be you deal with it, or
okay, all right, I'll buy you a new mouse.
I'll buy you a mouse.
Yeah. So anyway, we went on for an hour. This is an hour-long one.
Heck yeah. So. Well, we got some little Twitch action in there.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'll randomly go live occasionally again. But hope you enjoyed the podcast / Twitch stream. If you are watching on Twitch, check us out on YouTube. There's another 12 episodes or so up.
Smash that like button.
Yeah. He's been waiting to say that.
Yeah, my son. Yeah. Is that the right one?
Yeah, it is.
Click that like. Click subscribe. Click subscribe.
Yeah, okay.
And then smash the like button.
All right. You're worth it. Do hard shit.
Boom.